Hi, everyone, and welcome back to the Blonde Edit. I am your host, Hannah Victoria Gents, and I am so excited because I have the most wonderful conversation to share with you. There's something so powerful about watching a woman turn her life goals and passion into a beautiful, thriving, successful career. Last week, I had the honor to sit down and talk with the incredibly talented fashion designer, Haley, the founder of Haley J. We talked about her entire creative journey, her brand, and how she got there, and everything in between. I'm so excited to share our conversation with you. Now, let's take a look. Haley, thank you so
Um,
much for taking the time to join me today.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Oh, I'm so happy that you're here. Welcome to the Blonde Edit. Myself and my audience are so thrilled to meet you. For those of you who don't know Haley, Haley Emerson is the creative force behind the beautiful brand Haley J. And it's these stunning pieces that are all about beauty and heirloom and poshness and chic and elegance all in one. So I can't wait to dive in and get to know you a little better. So, with that being said, before Haley J became a brand, I know it's you, and it was just you of years of education and curiosity, and you were at SCAD and all over. How would you say that your early creative instincts have evolved over time? And how do you balance bringing those original ideas for the woman that you're now dressing today?
Yeah, so I would say my creative instincts definitely started when I was a kid. I was always sewing, creating my own fashion magazines, sketching dresses in my notebook. And when you're a kid and you're creating, you're just creating for creating's sake. Whereas when you're an adult or you're going to college, you're creating to get a grade, to graduate, to keep your job, to be good at your job. And so your creative instincts are really tied to so many other practical life things that I often found that my creative instincts were kind of getting squashed when I was letting all of the background noise and all the other things get involved. So when I create for Haley J, I actually really try to go back to that kind of like childhood creative instinct. So I'll usually spend like 3 or 4 days where I'm not thinking about anything practical. I'm not thinking about, okay, can we produce this on a large scale? How much is this going to cost? I'm really just thinking about, is this beautiful? Is this what I want to see in my collection? And of course, from there, I then go back and put on my business hat and have to think through all of those things. But it kind of allows those like childhood creative instincts to kind of come out. And I wasn't really seeing that before. I was kind of allowing that creative process to happen. But I would say they definitely have evolved because obviously, as a kid, I didn't have the training or the expertise or the sophistication of the design that you're seeing now. So while what I'm designing is looking different, I'm really honoring like the original process.
No, that's absolutely beautiful background and story. I have always heard that if you're our age or even a little younger, always think about what you wanted to do when you were a little kid, and that's what you're driven to do. And I think that you took your talents and gifts that you were given and born with, and you're now applying them, and you're doing a phenomenal job. And you really did such an amazing job of just taking those skill sets and then kind of deepening it from like a professional level and an educational level. And I think it's smart that you allow yourself to have that creative time to really not have any of that background noise because being a business owner, you can think about all the different facets and you never want to take away from what it's really all about. And the pieces speak for itself. And that kind of leads me into my next question. So your path, you were in SCAD for school, and then you were in London, which is incredible, and New York, and all these places probably taught you a little bit of something, whether it was precision or discipline, and really how to fine tune your craft. Is there anything about those chapters of your life, and the way you think about it, that and like why it's important to you today? And would you say that anything led you to your decision for Haley J being manufactured here in the United States?
Yeah, I think each part of my journey provided something very different. So when I went to SCAD, I didn't yet have any formal training or foundational background to support my craft. At that point, it was just me doing it on my own. And so
Right.
SCAD really taught me this really comprehensive foundation and design background. And from there, I moved to London where I worked in pattern making. And short version is pattern making is the actual pieces, the pattern pieces that the clothes are made out of. So I would draft a lot of the patterns and like the designer would design, and then I would flat pattern make it, which is a lot of math, which is really interesting because
Yeah,
people don't think fashion, but fashion is almost all math.
it is.
Um, when it comes to the actual construction process, it's very precise. And so then from there, someone would take the patterns, sew the garment. And then when I moved to New York, I was in a completely different role. I was in something called technical design.
Okay.
So it had already been designed, the pattern maker had already done it, and it has already been sewn. It was kind of the final step until it reached the customer. And it's
Okay.
where you were perfecting fit and
Sure.
making sure every detail was perfect and really, fitting the garment on a live model and making tweaks and changes. And so from SCAD to London to New York, each step was a very different part of the design process. So it
Mhm.
allowed me to really get this idea of what the whole process looks like. And
Right.
working in fashion houses, you could see a lot of, from my opinion, like what was working, what was not working. What I really did see was when we were doing a lot of international manufacturing at some of the places I worked, it was very difficult to sometimes communicate with the factories or be super on top of the production process. And I knew when I started my own brand, I am so passionate about fit and quality that I really wanted to be a part of it every step of the way. And
Sure.
being in the United States, I can travel to the factories very easily, and I do very often. And so that allows me to have like a really hands-on process with the entire production process. And what's really cool is a lot of these factories in the US, they're also family-owned businesses that have been there for 30, 40, 50 years. And they have a lot of expertise and they bring a lot of things to the table that I might not have thought of. And so you're building these really beautiful relationships with these artisans in your community. And so it's just been really special to produce Haley J in that way.
No, I think that's amazing. And you truly are a specialist in the world of fashion. And it speaks for itself when you say that you want to be hands-on and you really be in the thick of it. And the fact that you utilize these family-owned businesses that have been around for, multiple decades, it shows that the quality and the craftsmanship is very high too. And I think what makes you so special is that I'm not taking away from any other luxury designers, and I'm not going to say names, but they, I think, took that touch out, the hands-on, and that's kind of how luxury is starting to lose its luster, and that's what makes you stand out from the rest and makes your pieces so bold and so beautiful. And I feel like because your pieces are so bold and emotionally driven and they look like heirloom, is there anything that you would say in regard to your design process, like about your who you think of a Haley J girl and how they define themselves? Like, how do you like? What is your goal for when we put these pieces on?
So it really started out, I kind of go back to the beginning when I was kind of brainstorming for my brand. It really started out with me being kind of the Haley J woman. What I was struggling with personally was I wasn't able to find the aesthetic and the designs that I wanted out in the market already, especially at the quality, being the background I have, the quality is so important to me. And
Sure.
so I really started out as this idea that the woman is me. And if I am struggling with these things, other women be as are as well. And so this woman, she wants to show up. She wants to be unapologetically herself. She sees color as a powerful tool of self-expression. She sees fashion as joyful. So when she's getting dressed every day, she wants to have joy in her own heart. She wants to share it with other people. And it's really just this idea of this woman, she doesn't follow trends, she sets them. And so when she buys a Haley J piece today, she's going to wear it today. She's going to wear it 10 years from now. Hopefully, she passes it down in her family. It's just meant to be this really beautiful piece that kind of travels with her through the different stages of her life. And I do think that's something that's really cool about Haley J that we see a lot with our customer is a really wide age range, like
Yeah.
very wide. And then usually you have a little bit more refined, but if I have found that it's resonating with multiple different age groups in different ways. So that's been really special.
Oh, absolutely. And I feel like the way you approach your designs is because every day, just the way I think about life is a day to be celebrated. And I think in the society we live in, that people aren't getting as dressed up or as glammed up just because. And I think that you inspire people with these gorgeous pieces to just wear these gorgeous shoes, not for the occasion, because and embrace the fashion and the style and the elegance of the design. And when you even just see the precision of the stones of on the shoe and the dresses that are so perfectly stitched, and every single design is so meticulous, it makes you want to wear it over and over again, and to your point, for years to come. And that's something you would want to pass on to your daughter, then your granddaughter. And because you are so conscious of quality control, they will last for years. The first time I saw your pieces, the literally what came to my mind was heirloom. It's just pure heirloom, and it's one of a kind, and it's also timeless. Although it is so unique, it's timeless, which I think is incredible. Um, and that actually kind of brings me to my next question is, I know that you are very meticulous, which I admire, and you go through multiple fittings and deep care before letting a piece go live. Was there anything in your background that drew you to build the brand this way? And anything like you would like to say for women that are carrying this generationally when they choose to wear Haley J today and years to come?
Absolutely. I think there's a couple parts to this. I think the first part is my personality. I'm just a perfectionist. And so if I'm going to do anything, especially with my craft, I'm going to make sure it's done right, especially when it's my own brand and I'm attaching my name to something. I'm really passionate about making sure that it's reached perfection, what I see as perfection.
Yes.
So that's one. But I also think the second thing is working in luxury fashion houses and having that experience, they are very meticulous, and having that background of precision was years and years of training. And
Sure.
so it's kind of just ingrained into like who I am as a designer. They kind of go hand in hand. I can't design something without thinking about how is this going to be made. It's very ingrained in my design process. And I also think the second part is because Haley J is not following trends, and we do not follow a traditional fashion calendar, there is no rush. We're not competing with the other brand to make sure we get this trend out first to sell
Right.
first. We're kind of following our own groove and our own rhythm. And so there have been times where, for example, something's supposed to launch. The customer doesn't necessarily know this. Like, I think it's going to launch on this day, and I
Sure.
get it in my hands, and I'm like, you know what? No, it needs to be refined for another month or two. And
Mhm.
so I really just have the ability to kind of choose my own schedule when it comes to launching these Haley J pieces. There's no rush. And then I think when it comes to like generationally, and when a woman chooses to wear Haley J, I just keep going back to that idea of joy. I think the fun colors and the bright colors to me are just so joyful, whether she wears it today or she wears it many, many years from now. I think she's probably going to feel the same feeling. And so that's really just what I'm trying to like communicate to my customer.
Yeah, and I think you're doing an amazing job with it. It does speak to the customer, the colors, the patterns, the sequins. It really is, it embodies joy. Now I love that you don't follow a traditional calendar and that you have that ability because of how hands-on you are with your brilliance in your craft. Is there anything on the horizon that we should look out for that you'd like to share, or is it still kind of in the works?
We have some new clothing launching in the spring.
Okay.
It's still following the traditional Haley J aesthetic and vibe, but there's a little bit of a twist. It's going to look a little bit different than anything we've seen before. So I'm super excited about that. And then we are also expanding our product assortment into categories that we have not gone into before. So I'm super excited about that because my goal at Haley J is really to make it a spot where women can get their entire outfit from head to toe, from their clothes to their shoes to their accessories. So I'm very excited to expand into other areas.
I can't wait to see it. I'm a fan of everything you do. It's incredibly beautiful. And I know in my soul, anything you release is going to be gorgeous and I can't wait to see what you have coming for years to come. Now, for people that haven't had the pleasure of seeing your designs yet, would you like to share where they can shop, where they can find you on Instagram or any other social media platforms you utilize?
Absolutely. So our website is shophaleyj.com. Haley is spelled Haleyj. And then our Instagram is the same, Shop Haley J.
Perfect. And for the viewers that are tuning in, I will be sure that that is all in the comments for you to follow on our page. Well, Haley, it was so nice meeting with you and I appreciate you taking the time. I absolutely adore everything you do. It's stunning. I'm such a fan, and I can't wait to see what else is to come. And I'm sure everyone else who sees this is going to be following very closely.
Well, that's so nice. Thank you so much for having me. It's been amazing to be here.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much. And we will definitely talk with you soon.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Love that conversation with Haley as much as I did. Her story was really a beautiful reminder that with passion and hard work and perseverance and persistence, excuse me, you can build anything meaningful that you put your mind to. I always believe that you, if you want to do something that you really love, think about what you really liked to do when you were a child, whether that was art, sports, media. I'm sorry, guys. I'm so sorry. In any event, being a teacher, fitness, whatever that is, channel into that, and that's what you're meant to do. In any event, thank you so much for joining me on the Blonde Edit. Your support means the absolute world to me, and I can't wait to see you until next time. I'm Hannah Victoria Gents. You can follow along at the Blonde Edit Show and at the Long Island Blonde. You want to check out our magazine at the Hamptons Edit Magazine. Thank you again and talk soon.
LTV's programming is made possible by the New York State Council on the Arts, with the support of the Office of the Governor and the New York State Legislature.